Here I'm making FAA or fish amino acid. I have fresh fish heads, tails, spines, and guts. Equal weight raw brown sugar. I have my OHN, Oriental Herbal Nutrient input. And then I have a bowl of finished IMO4, which is the fourth step in indigenous microorganism preparation. I'm going to start this off by putting in some IMO4 as my bottom layer. That's just to kind of make sure that there's not a fish head or fish guts just stuck to the bottom of the barrel. The IMO4 is there to aid in fermentation. It also eats the stinky fats that start to develop as this starts to ferment. The IMO4 will take care of any smell. Swirl the OHN to the right. I always swirl to the right to increase the energy. And then there's layers that go into this. So it's IMO4 and OHN, and then fish and sugar mixed together. So the layers are all kind of eyeballed, but I know my weight is already correct. I've already pre-weighed the sugar to match the fish. So I'm going to put the heads in first just because in the past I've noticed like a head ends up floating and making its way up. So I'm putting the heads on the bottom in this batch. So now I'm going to add some of the raw brown sugar. Try to evenly coat all the heads. I'm actually going to pick up some of the heads and pour some sugar directly into the inside just to make sure that everything is coated. It's optional if you want to chop up the heads. You can get a big knife and chop these things up into smaller pieces. It's not necessary. You're going to get a good fermentation just by throwing whole heads in there. If you do find that something makes its way up and starts floating, you can add like a clean, heavy rock that could hold everything down. I've done that in the past also. So I'm just layering some more sugar in there. Coming in with a scotch of OHN, as my teacher Chris Trump says. A scotch. Just a little bit. Just a squirt or two. Layering in some more IMO4 here. Some more fish, followed by sugar. Sometimes I'll actually just kind of put my hand down in there and mix the sugar into the fish a little bit. You're really trying to evenly coat it all. Adding some guts in there as well. This process makes use of the whole fish and makes it super available to the plants in the end. Rather than putting it in a compost pile where the nitrogen actually burns off as part of the composting process, this is a slow, cold, controlled compost essentially, where you retain absolutely everything. Super powerful input. Don't overdo it, but it makes a big difference in plants that are at the stage where they need some extra nitrogen and vegetative stage. Or if your plant needs a boost, you can tell that it needs a boost, you can hit it with some of this also. So I'm coming back in with some more OHN. Again, it's just a layering of IMO4 and OHN, and then fish and sugar. Always shooting for that equal amount. Just be sure to leave enough sugar at the end for a sugar cap. So this spine and tail, it's actually a little too big for my container. So I'm just going to snap it. Be careful. If you need to do anything like that, the sharp bones can actually cut you. Getting some sugar all over that piece again. Pretty simple process here. I just want to show everything. Try and show how simple it is, really. This can be done without IMO4. If you don't have IMO4, just get some leaf mold or pick up some forest duff that looks nice and healthy with some mycelium in it, and it'll do the job also. You can alternatively do it without any IMO, but it's going to smell bad. You'll still get a product that you can use though. Going in with the OHN, more sugar, evenly coating all of the fish. More sugar. Try and evenly coat everything. Some IMO4. Don't forget that juice. No waste. No waste here. So there's the sugar that I'm pouring, that I kind of reserved to use as a sugar cap on the top. Just kind of massaging that into the fish on the top. I also put a little IMO4 in there to just kind of mix into that top layer. I'm trying to avoid much smell or any smell at all. So I'm just taking my time to pat everything down, make it nice and flat. I'm not pressing down super hard or anything. Okay, a little more OHN. OHN is an anti-pathogenic input, so it's just going to help keep everything clean and happy in there. More sugar. The sugar cap is important. It's about 1.5 inches on this batch, something like that. And I'm shooting for 2/3 full in my container, making sure to leave 1/3 airspace at the top. I like to keep everything clean in there. I don't like a bunch of sugar up on the edges of the top of my container. Keep everything clean as possible. Some more OHN. And then the final layer is IMO4. You should have IMO4 on the top. That's because fat will start to develop on the top, and that IMO4 will go about eating it, and that really takes care of all of the smell. You don't have to worry about anything. You'll actually see some mycelial growth a lot of the time form across the top. Okay, take my lid, and I don't put the lid on tight. I actually put it on and then just pop up the edge a little bit just so that there's enough for gas exchange. You don't want an airtight lid in this. It'll sit for a year. This can be used at 3 months, just only in a soil drench or soil application situation. No foliars at 3 months. At 6 months, it's good to go. It's done. You can use it in a foliar at 4 milliliters a gallon, or you can use it in a soil application 4 to 8 milliliters a gallon. There I just showed how I actually popped the lid just to allow enough gas exchange for the fermentation to happen properly. Thanks for watching. Much love.